Hello world, I'm Stephanie Jennifer, certified Zen Tango teacher based in Singapore and artist extraordinaire, here today with a very special video regarding my first semester at the Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts. I'm currently studying a diploma in art teaching, but no matter what course you're studying, this video will be relevant to you because for all students studying at NAFA, your first semester at the school will be the same no matter which course you're studying. Now maybe you're asking, Stephanie, why should I trust you in what you're saying? And I wouldn't blame you. That is a very appropriate question to ask, especially if you don't know me and have never met me before. I'm an art teacher. I've been running my own businesses for the past 12 years. And I've put in a lot of effort into my weekly assignments, my homework, and my final projects. And that effort has allowed me to gain a 4.0 GPA, and that is straight A's across all of my modules. So I'm not saying that my way is the only way to do it. I know of many other friends who did very, very well for their other modules, and their style is very different from mine. The works that I'll be showing are not the only way that you can do it. But I just wanted this video to be helpful to people that have just joined NAFA and are curious as to what to expect. So that is the purpose of this video. Now, if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I have notes for this video to keep track of what I want to cover within this video. NAFA does have an orientation. It covers 2 days where you'll be brought around campus and sort of given a general idea of what to expect from your foundation year. However, in this video, I'm trying to cover more of what is taught within the curriculum. So for your foundation year in semester 1, you'll have 6 core subjects. They are General Studies, Introduction to Visual Arts, 2D Fundamentals, 3D Fundamentals, Drawing Fundamentals, and Creative Thinking. If you're in art teaching, like me, you'll also have an additional core module that you'll have, that is Introduction to Pedagogy Practices. So for everyone else, it's 6 core modules. For art teaching, you'll have 7. Going down the list by each topic, each of the modules. For general studies, it'll be held completely online. You'll have weekly in-class assignments that can be done very, very quickly. So I suggest that you get them done in class so that you don't have to worry about them. There is one really big, not really, really big, but slightly more difficult assignment, and that is it covers report writing. So that might be something that is of a concern for you if your writing skills are not the best. And my advice for this module is to just show up. It's a very easy course to pass. It's very easy to get good grades. Just show up, finish the in-class assignments, and you're golden. Next is Introduction to Visual Arts. This module is also held online. It covers both art and design history. It's delivered in a lecture style, so you're being talked at by the lecturer, if that makes sense. It's a lot of the lecture like droning on from a slide, and you're supposed to take notes and write down for your own learning. There are 2 major group work projects with this module. One is in term 1, where you have to create a poster regarding different art history periods, and then the second one is a video where you have to focus on design elements from different architecture around Singapore. And for each of these themes, you'll be assigned a theme, a chosen theme, so you don't get to pick. And for my particular class, our lecturer did not allow us to choose who we wanted to work with. So that's a little difficult part where you kind of sort of have to suck it up and work with people that you might not necessarily want to work with. Moving on, for 2D fundamentals, we have weekly in-class assignments. Everything is written in the module guide, so you get to see what is it that will sort of be covered in class, so you can sort of prep if you want. In term 1, we'll have weekly artist research as homework. So you'll have to go home, search about the artist, and then write down what you learned in your visual journal. Now for this, my advice is write down your thoughts rather than what you've seen online, what you've learned about the artist. The way that I went about with this is I would research fun facts about the artist, when they were born, when they passed on, if they're already not around with us. And then I would pick different fun facts about them to write them down, and then I would then choose a few artworks that really resonated with me. You can either find artworks that you really, really like, or you can find artworks that you don't like at all. And then you write down, when this artwork was created, what is its title, what are its dimensions, and then just write down your thoughts about each piece. Because what the lecturer is trying to look for is reflection and just your thinking process. And this is a theme that will be repeated a lot with your other visual journals. A lot of it is just trying to make sure that you have opinions about art and design. In term 2 for 2D fundamentals, we worked towards a final project. So we did not have any more artist research homework. Instead, we were told to think about what we wanted our final project to look like, and we were working towards a large A3 size poster. Your visual journal and your in-class assignments count towards 70% of your grade, and your final project counts towards 30% of your grade. So just think about that and think about how you want to delegate your time and your energies for this module. Moving on to 3D fundamentals, the general format for this module was that in week 1, the first week, you'll receive a lecture. The lecturers would talk about the theme or the topic for this assignment, what is it that you want to learn, the learning outcomes, and then you'll go on to make sketches for this assignment. Then your lecturers will give you feedback, and then you'll go home and create study models. On week 2, you bring back your study models to school, and then you'll receive critique from your lecturers. In my class, we had 50 students, so it's 2 classes combined into one, and we had 2 lecturers. So if you think about it, having 2 lecturers give individual feedback to 50 students takes a while. So for this module, what I would do is I would work on homework for other modules, or I would read or do some of my own writing, journaling, while I waited for the lecturers to come to me. Please make full use of your time, do things that are productive for yourself. After you receive critic, you would then work on additional sketches, and then you'll go home to make more study models, which you'll bring back in week 3. And then you'll receive your final critique, and then go on to work on your final model, which would be, the one that is graded as your final assessment project. For 3D fundamentals, there are videos that you can watch on the NAFA Canvas site. So for certain topics or assignments where I was really struggling to understand what was being taught, I would go back into the site and just watch those videos to get a clearer understanding. Your visual journal for this module should cover your thought process and learning outcomes. If you see from the example pages that I'm showing on screen right now, you'll see that I have at the end of each assignment written a little blurb about what is it that I was grateful for about the lecturer, what is it that I learned, any specific instances that happened in class that really stood out to me. Just write your own personal thoughts and your reflection, because that is what your lecturer is looking for. For this module, you also need to go for an FOAD workshop induction. The faculty will cover what is it that this means, but just know that you'll have to cover that because that accounts for 10% of your grade. Moving on to drawing fundamentals. This module you either really, really love or you'll really despise, depending on your drawing skills. For this module, you'll cover a wide range of materials, namely pencil, pen, Chinese ink, charcoal, and white charcoal. You'll also cover a different range of drawing techniques, namely hatching, cross-hatching, stippling, and scribbling. My advice for this module is to ask your lecturer for specific critique. So instead of saying, is this drawing good? You can ask, how do I make this surface look more reflective? Or what can I do to make this shadow look more realistic? I think that lecturers tend to be careful about the critique that they give, because Some students are sensitive towards critique given, but I think as artists, we need to leave our ego at the door and not take critique of our art as critique about our personal persons, like yourself. It's not critique about yourself, right? And I think the quicker you learn this lesson, the more receptive you'll be to critique, and then you'll be able to improve at a much quicker rate. And if that's what you're striving for, that is very important to learn. For term 1 and term 2, the grade split is the same. You'll have your visual journal, your sketchbook essentially for this module. It's A4 size. That's 10% of your grade for both term 1 and term 2. Your weekly assignments, your homework essentially, will be an A3 size drawing. That is 25% of your grade for both term 1 and term 2. And then your final assignment, which is an A2 size, will count for 15% of your grade, which would total to 100%. For sketchbooks, usually we're asked to make 6 A4 size drawings in class. So that's 6 drawings in 4 hours, which is a lot. You are usually just spending a lot of time just trying your best to finish. Try to, have some nice music queued up. You can chit chat with your friends if that's the vibe that you're going for. Your take home assignment is A3 size. More often, you want to put in a lot more effort into that because that's 25% of your grade. And then for your final assignment, that's A2 size. I think a lot of people struggle with the amount of space that is in an A2 sized piece of paper. So just make sure that your starting sketches are solid and good so that you can work on a good base. For this module, you'll be given videos that you can watch ahead of time. Please attempt them if you're a weaker student. So if your drawing skills are a little subpar, if you're struggling a little to understand the particular technique or the particular material. For example, for me, charcoal was a new medium that I did not enjoy, but it's good to just try it out before class so that you don't come into class not knowing what is it that's going on. For drawing fundamentals, the module guide is really your friend. You get a whole overview of what is it that is covered, what are topics coming up, and so you sort of can plan what is it that you want to draw. Depending on your lecturer, some lecturers allow you to choose your subject you're gonna draw. I really hope that you get a lecturer that's nice and kind like that, because I think that makes it a lot more fun. If you don't get a lecturer that's cool like that, I'm very sorry. Moving on to creative thinking. For creative thinking, we are trying to learn about the design process. Your visual journal for this module is 70% of your grade. Again, that's 70% of your grade. So please put the appropriate amount of efforts into it. I recommend inserting relevant clip art style illustrations on your pages. If you notice, some of the pages that I'm showing you will have little illustrations, fun little illustrations that are appropriate to the page. What I would do is, for example, if the page was talking about teamwork, for example, I will go on Google and I'll search teamwork, find something that I like, and then I'll recreate that in my visual journal. I find that that was what really pushed my visual journal into a better grade. Again, the lecturer is trying to look for your thoughts and reflection. That's why it's called reflective journaling. If you're just repeating what was taught in class, you're not going to get a good grade for this module. What we're working towards is an end product, which is a board game, and a 10-minute video presentation that explains your game design, how to play your game, and the user testing of your game, your board game. All of that work, both the board game and the 10-minute video presentation, is 20% of your grade only. So delegate the relevant amount of resources accordingly. You should be focusing on your visual journal for this module. So 70% of your grade is visual journal, 20% of your grade is the board game, and the 10-minute presentation. The last 10% is the FOAD lecture series. Again, faculty will cover what is it that this means, but just, you have to do that. During the first week for creative thinking, you will be choosing your group members. My advice is to choose wisely. This group of people that you choose for creative thinking will follow you for 15 weeks. That is your entire first semester. You're going to have to be working with these people. I know that it's a little scary because number one, you don't know these people. You don't know what their working style is. You don't know what their work ethics are, whether they're responsible, whether they're responsive to texts, and whether they contribute fairly and equally to group discussions. But you're gonna be stuck with them whether you like it or not. So just choose wisely as best as you can. And a lot of these classes, these lectures for creative thinking are discussion based. The lecturer will go through a series of slides. The slides will pose a question at the end, and then you'll have to discuss amongst each other, and then that will go into your visual journal. The discussion points will go into your visual journal. So as long as you follow the lecture along, you show up. Showing up is very important because obviously you can't discuss as a group if no one is there. So just show up and you'll be good. Just work on your visual journal. 70% is passing grade. You're doing a really good job. Lastly, for our art teaching students, if you're not an art teaching student, you will not have this module. But if you're an art teaching student, hi, hello, you'll have a 7th module. As if 6 wasn't enough. Your 7th module is Introduction to Pedagogy Practices. Basically, it's the how to teach module. So for this module, you'll cover teaching philosophies, which accounts for 40% of your grade, and you'll also have reflective journals, which accounts for another 40% of your grade. And then you'll have one quiz, which covers 20% of your grade. These are lecture style modules, they're lecture style classes. There's a lot of in-class group discussions and activities. There's no homework for these classes, and the lecturers are really, really very nice. Teaching philosophies and reflective journals are written assignments, so you're going to be writing a lot for this course. If you're in art teaching, when we're first starting in year 1, semester 1, most of your writing assignments are about 300 words each. Our lecturer says that when we graduate in year 3, we'll be doing 3,000 word essays. So be prepared for that. And that about covers everything that I wanted to cover for this video. When I was first looking to join NAFA, when I had received the acceptance letter, I wanted to go online to find out what is it exactly that I was going to be learning. So I hope that you find this video useful in that aspect. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again soon.